Hey everyone, coming back at you with another craft video. This one is actually less than 8 minutes long this time. I tried to trim it down a little bit. I'm making an Easter card for my mom, a little bit late, because I'm probably going to not send it out until tomorrow, which is Friday. So it's going to get to her late, but that's okay. It's better late than never, right? Just didn't get into the craft room as much this week as I would have liked to. A little busy homeschooling. You know how it is. So I'm showing you here my silhouette mat. I cut pieces of paper, the colored pieces of paper in turquoise, yellow, and pink in 2x3. And then I cut a little white square in 2x2. The reason why I put them all on one piece of paper is I actually am going to be cutting out 3 bunnies in those different colors for this Easter card. And then that little white piece of paper is for their tails. So here they are, all cut out, and I glued their little tails on. I wanted some dimension because I wanted it to look like a real cottontail, so I put them on with the foam dots. And how cute are they in the 3 different colors? And they are going to go on this card. But first, I'm going to get out my Distressed Oxide ink from Ranger by Tim Holtz in cracked pistachio, spun sugar, and this one is something scattered straw. And I'm going to blend them with my blending brushes from Picket Fence Studios. My main goal is to get it real nice and light. I did not want the whole entire paper to be filled with the inks. I just wanted them blended where the bunnies are, mainly. So I'm going to blend them, and then I wanted to get the edges really lighter. You'll see eventually I'm going to be putting some of the pistachio right onto my workspace, just because that one kind of comes out dark. So I wanted it to blend a little bit lighter towards the edges especially. I like it to kind of like fade out. That's just a personal preference. So I cut out some words on my Silhouette Studio for, I'm not gonna lie, this was a big pain in the butt to get them all out. They didn't cut well at first. I had to try it a few different times. And I had to do a lot of poking and prodding to get them clean and get them out well. But it eventually worked. They're just not as clean as I would have liked them to be, but it's really hard when it's those tiny little dainty cuts. This was definitely a labor of love, but so are all handmade cards. Just know that when you get a handmade card that it is a labor of love. So here I have them all cut out. I like to stack them one on top of another. That's why I make 3. This is a trick that I've learned from the gurus, the card making gurus, Kathy Zilski and Jennifer McGuire. I watch their videos a lot and I get a lot of ideas from them. So here I'm just taking some Gina K glue, and again, it's a process and it's a labor of love, and kind of just going through and putting all the little glue dots on so that I can stack these all 3 together. Sometimes you have to use a tweezer or a little pick-me-up thing to get things up and stacked. So I use that little pick thing from Silhouette to help me grab those. So here they are. They're all done. And they're not too bad. I mean, I would have liked them to come out a little bit cleaner. They were hard to stack on top of each other evenly. But in the end, I really like the way they came out. So here I am. I'm cutting a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Cutting it 5.5, I believe. And then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And that makes a standard size card, and you'll see later it's going to open from the bottom. So I'm going to use the scoreboard, which is on this tool from, where's this tool from? I forgot again. We Are Memory Keepers, The Works all-in-one tool. So it has a trimmer and a scoreboard. I'm going to score that at 4.25. I like to go twice just to make sure it's nice and clean and crisp. I accidentally put my bone folder away, but I'm going to take it back out in a second when I realize I need it again. Just to get a nice, whoops, it gets away from me. Get a nice, crisp, clean fold. Nice and flat. And there we go. We're going to put the bone folder back where it goes. Put the trimmer back where it goes. Now we're going to glue the card base that I made with the inks on with some foam tape. That way it raises up a little bit, has a little dimension, and I cut that piece of paper a little bit smaller than the actual card to give a little frame around. Now I'm putting the bunnies on. I'm utilizing a T-square that came with this Tim Holtz workspace that you see me working on. I'm using that so that I can get the bunnies on really straight. Again, I'm using the foam tape to pop those bunnies up a little bit, to add a little bit of dimension. Just gives a little more interest to the card, a little more fun. And I wanted to put the bunnies on different colors. So you'll notice they're on all different colors. And last but not least, I just need to glue on those stacked words that I did. Remember, they are 3 cuts on top of each other, and that's what gives them that nice dimension. And use a tweezer just because there's glue on them, so it's kind of hard to pick up. And put those right at the bottom, and we're almost done with the card. Again, it's a labor of love, but it's something that I absolutely love to do. Crafting is definitely my therapy. It's very therapeutic for me. And there we go. That is the last thing. I did mess it up a little bit, but that Gina K glue, Connect glue, dries clear, so it's really not a big deal. And there it is.